And welcome, everybody, to another episode of the Pulse of Fins Nation. I'm your host, Louis Sung, and I'm joined by my co-host, Ron Caniff. No Alfredo Arteaga as of yet. We'll see if he pops in a little bit later. But right now, just me and Ron, like the good old days. How are you, my friend?
I'm good. I'm ready to argue with you.
No, yeah, we're gonna. Well, I mean, hey, we may end up doing a little bit of arguing today because we're gonna revisit something that we talked about just the other day on Fins Nation, my morning show.
But now we have a little bit more evidence to me being right.
Right? Really?
Right. Just a little bit more.
I mean, I would argue.
We've added. I've now not some ammo for that gun I was shooting about. Why we don't need Dalvin Cook, but
yeah, well, I've got more ammo to shoot on why I think Dalvin Cook's going to be signed anyway. So
let's see what we got.
So we are going to argue then. Okay, here we go. So let's go ahead and get into it. But before that, really quick, just want to go ahead and mention that, as always, this show is brought to you by our good friends over at You Brake Wheel Fix. You Brake Wheel Fix is the ultimate automotive wheel solution. That word kind of gets stuck in my mouth sometimes. If you've ever parked too close to the sidewalk curb, You Brake Wheel Fix can help you out with that, with bends, cracks, curb rash, whatever your wheels are dealing with. If they're faded or peeling, don't replace them, because You Brake Wheel Fix can refinish them to like new. They offer complete refinish options through powder coating, machining, and polishing, and You Brake Wheel Fix is the answer to all of your wheel needs. So if you just want to give your ride a new look, maybe You Brake Wheel Fix can do that for you too. They can give you new custom wheels, tires from your favorite brands, performance upgrades, window tinting, and even suspension modifications. So I guess they can make your car bounce if you're into that sort of thing. So just reach out to Mark and his staff at 305-748-0112 or online at youbrakewheelfix.com. They're active on Instagram. They're active on Facebook. They're active on Twitter. So give them a DM over there, or you can go online to youbrakewheelfix.com and you can get an estimate in just minutes. Don't delay. Go to You Brake Wheel Fix and start customizing your ride to show off your Dolphins fandom today. And of course, this show is also brought to you by PrizePicks.com. PrizePicks.com is a revolutionary fantasy platform where you can now pick up to 6 different players across professional sports leagues, whether that's the NFL, the NBA, the MLB, the NHL, the WNBA is back if you want to jump into that. It's all up to you to decide. Just use the promo code 5, that's FIVE, and they will match up to $100 on your initial deposit when you sign up. They get free squares over there. There's actually a Nikola Jokic square that's going to be available coming up really soon. There's special Taco Tuesday promos. Flex Friday is coming up soon, so make sure you keep an eye on that. So again, use the promo code 5, FIVE, sign up using that promo code, deposit your $100. PrizePicks will give you $100 of their dollars for you to play with. There's no reason not to go if you are any kind of a fantasy sports fan. So we'll go ahead and dive into this right now. So we'll go ahead and I'll give you your shot first. I'll let you give up your evidence. Go ahead. I'll let you have the floor to start things off. What's your ammo as to why the Dolphins are not going to be bringing in Dalvin Cook? Go ahead.
Remember the conversation when we had it on Fins Nation a couple days ago was why the Dolphins should not bring Dalvin Cook. Don't need to bring Dalvin Cook. I don't think they're going to anyway, but that's neither here nor there. I have no inside information. But my whole argument was what? What was my argument 2 days ago as to why we don't need to sign Dalvin Cook?
The 2 words, Devon Achane, but I want you to go ahead and re-embellish here for the live crowd.
Exactly. So now we've got to see just a little smattering of what that looks like with the team. And I tell you what, the reports were quite good on Achane and how explosive he can be, which is what I kept saying. And we know he can carry the load. An argument I didn't even make on Fins Nation was in that upset win against LSU, the guy had 38 carries. That's almost 40 carries in a game. We know he can be a bell cow. Now, I understand this our offense doesn't really implement a bell cow running back per se, but we know he could carry a load. And like I said before, Mostert and Wilson, we know those guys, especially Mostert, can take over a game when needed. Wilson too, he can be the star of the show sometimes when he needs to. And I don't want them taking Achane off the field for the back end of his career, Dalvin Cook. I'm just not interested in that, man. I'm just not. I think they signed Mostert, they signed Wilson re-signed for a reason, and then they went and drafted Achane. And man, Mike McDaniel's reaction to me doesn't look like a guy who, when we drafted Achane, And when we didn't draft him in the second round was even more telling than when we did in the third, right? I don't think that his reaction as a guy who's like, oh yeah, let me now get Dalvin Cook too and spend what, 5-6 million this year on him, 7, 8, 10. Like, what's it going to cost? But it was never about the money for me. It's all about, I don't want to take snaps away from Achane. I think you're taking a guy that's just way too explosive, way too much potential there to be special off the field, to bring on an expensive running back kind of towards the end of his career, really, as a running back. So I mean, that's my take on it.
Well, first of all, I'll go ahead and the first thing I'm going to talk about, and I didn't have time to talk about it on Fins Nation, but one thing I take issue with is you mentioning that Dalvin Cook is somehow at the end of his career already. I mean, just as a reminder, Dalvin Cook is 27. He'll be 28 in August. So he's not like he's out to pasture. Okay.
Yeah, I get that, but for a running back, especially as much as he's been used, as beat up as he's been, he's coming to the back end of his career for a running back. That's just the truth, right? I mean, he really is. And you're talking about spending a lot of money, but it's not just spending the money. You're talking about taking away snaps from a guy like Achane I'm telling you, this guy is going to be good, man. And I said this 2 days ago before we saw him in OTAs, and then first day in OTA, and everybody's like, holy crap, this guy Achane. And what did I also say? I said the guy was way underdrafted. It was more like we got a first-round pick in Cam Smith. We got him in the second round. Then we got a second-round pick in Devon Achane that we got in the third round. So good job there, because I'm much more excited about this draft class than I was the last draft class from last year. But I don't think it helps the team. I don't think the carries you're going to give Dalvin Cook and take away from Mostert, and mostly from Mostert and Achane especially, I just don't think it's going to be enough help for the team to make it worth it. I just don't think it's going to be.
And I think that it will be because, again, there's a certain reputation that comes with the Dalvin Cook that does not come with anybody else. So Jacoby Gregg's talking about might as well spend that $10 million towards another lineman. Who are you?
That's the problem now, because
who's worth $10 million that's out there on the open market right now.
Yeah.
We'll talk about somebody else who's on the open market who I might still be willing to toss a little bit of money, not a whole lot of money, a little bit of money. So just in case, but we'll talk. We'll get into that a little bit.
Talk about Billy Turner.
He's been signed already. He's with the Jets.
He did? Oh, man. So I don't even know who's available anymore.
Yeah, Billy Turner, actually, let me just look it up real quick. Yeah, he signed with the New York Jets. Go figure.
I mean, I'm sure you want to get more into the Dalvin Cook stuff, but maybe when you get out of it, let's bring up a list of the most notable linemen that are available still.
Yeah, so, Jacoby Greggs wants to ask what happened to the guard from the Broncos. You think he wants to go back to Butch Berry? I don't think so. Besides, maybe he'll be available later down the line if other teams are just looking at him like, you know what, dude, maybe you weren't that worth the money that you're probably looking for. Because I think, isn't it Quinn Miners? No, it's not Quinn Miners. Who is it? I can't remember the guy's name right now, but I'll figure it out. I'll look up the free agents in a minute.
Anyway, do you have any more to say about Dalvin Cook and why you think? I'll be honest with you. I don't know that you made that great of an argument on Fins Nation as to why we should be bringing on Dalvin Cook and not just roll with Wilson, Mostert, and Achane.
I mean, my argument is simply, once again, that I think that, number one, his reputation means that other teams are going to respect him just because he's back there. And so they're not going to be able to just stack the box. And actually, I take it back. They might actually stack the box because of Dalvin Cook, because they all know that if Dalvin Cook gets a good hole, he can start running for 20-yard runs any moment now. And they already know it. It's not like, Devon Achane, he might do it. It's Dalvin Cook, he will do it because he's been doing it his whole career. Again, I keep bringing this up over and over again. In spite of the fact that he's been injured all this time, every year that he has been in the league so far, well, every year that he's been Pro Bowler anyway, getting actual real starting snaps and getting a decent amount of playing time. In 2019 is when it really started. In 2017, I don't count that. He only played in 4 games. 2018, he only played in 10 games. But then 2019, 14 games, 1,135 yards rushing. 2020, He had 14 games, 312 carries, 1,557 yards rushing.
That's one of his
2021,
better seasons.
1,000, his best season. 2021, 249 carries, 1,159 yards rushing. And just last year, with his bum shoulder and having to split time and everything, 17 games, he played in all 17 games. 264 carries, 1,173 yards rushing. And that's splitting time with the other guy.
I get that, but we're also talking about, I mean, I'm listening to those numbers, and you make it sound like we're getting Derrick Henry or something.
Derrick Henry is getting older, faster than Dalvin Cook. So
yeah, but he's still a dominant force. Like, I'm not. I mean, it's just numbers, man. Numbers don't tell everything, but
no, numbers don't tell everything.
I don't feel, they don't tell everything. I don't feel like he's a dominant force. I mean, he had that good 15.
He is a top 5 running back in this league.
Yeah, I don't know anymore, man.
He is a top 5 running back in this league. Who else would you put over him? Besides Derrick Henry, who else even?
Austin Eckler.
I mean,
I'll put Bijan Robinson over him right freaking now. I
cannot in good conscience put a
Bijan Robinson, number 1 running back, 2023.
As a rookie. Okay,
as a rookie.
I'll give you Christian McCaffrey 100%. If you want to throw him in there.
McCaffrey for sure. Definitely put him over. Man, I'm telling you, if Dalvin Cook was that amazingly special, you're not just letting this guy walk for nothing.
I mean,
then where's the trade? Dude, what did San Fran give up? It was a lot to get McCaffrey. So you're trying to say Dalvin Cook if he's in McCaffrey territory, like where's that 4-pick trade to get him? Like he's not even close, man. He's not even close.
Because Christian McCaffrey offers more versatility than Dalvin Cook. That I'll give. I'll give that. I don't know. I'll give that Dalvin Cook does not give as much versatility as Christian McCaffrey. But Dalvin
doesn't give as much versatility as Devon Achane either.
But Dalvin Cook brings something to the table that you could argue is missing in this running back room, and that's actually having a bruiser. If I have to choose, like I know Devon Achane is fast. I know he's fast. But when
he's fast and he's quick too.
He's fast.
He's
and
more
he's
than
quick.
just fast.
But if you are at 4th and 1 at the goal line, who do you feel better giving the ball to? Dalvin Cook or Devon Achane?
Ingold.
Okay, but
I'm just kidding with you, dude. I'm just being a smart butt. Yeah, Dalvin Cook in that situation. But all right, so you're bringing this guy in to be your short yardage bruiser back?
No, I'm bringing him in to be like Devon Achane, if anything, has the chance to be the change of pace back to Dalvin Cook, and he could really make some plays there. And you know what? Again, I'm not looking at Dalvin Cook as like the long-term answer to what is going to happen now. I'm sure that Dalvin Cook is well aware that, listen, I'm going to have to go out there and I'm going to have to take whatever I end up getting. But this is where part of my argument comes in, and I'm just going to go ahead and pull something up on here. And it's something that came up today, and it's a picture. I'm getting the picture from Jason Sarney, but I think it was Nick Hicks who originally posted the picture.
Full disclosure, obviously Dalvin Cook is a Perform client.
Yes, he's a client of Nick Hicks, who is Tua's trainer. He's a trainer for many Dolphins out there as well. And based on how Nick Hicks is talking, it seems like he may know something. I think he knows, and I think he's basically making it public. Dalvin Cook wants to be a Miami Dolphin. And
Jordan Poyer wanted to be a Miami Dolphin too.
But here's the difference. But here's the difference.
Team is even going to be even. Here's the difference. Any close to what some teams might.
But here's the difference. Ready? Here's the difference. We had heard rumors that the Dolphins were in on Dalvin Cook, right? They were in on him. They were looking.
We've heard
at him hard.
There was discussions, maybe even trade talks possible.
Correct. Right. So they were interested in him. They were talking about him. They were talking about him. They were saying, "Hey, we might be interested in taking your guy here." Now, obviously, when Jalen Ramsey and all of a sudden all the draft capital they had to spare kind of went out the window. But if Dalvin Cook ends up getting cut, which by the way we are seeing, what's the guy's name? Is it Jeff Fowler or something? I saw that there was I saw it in OnlyFins, by the way. In OnlyFins, only $3 a month. Best stuff on Discord. You don't have to stay on Twitter. But I'm trying to find where that original tweet was and who the guy was that was saying it. It was I can't remember his name. Like I just see the last name Fowler. I don't know which Fowler it is. I keep thinking Dante Fowler, but I know that's a player, not a media guy. So
I have no clue.
But in any case,
I'm on Twitter so little these days. A little bit,
but again, he went ahead and doubled down on the previous report saying that, oh, well, Dalvin Cook's going to get cut as a post June 1st designation. Okay, so Dalvin Cook's going to be a free agent. So once again, I say to this, if Dalvin Cook is a free agent and he gets to choose where he wants to go, and he's willing to take whatever, how badly does he want to be home? If I'm looking at these pictures right here, again, I don't know for sure if this is any real news or not, but if Dalvin Cook really wants to come to Miami that badly, he'll take a smaller deal. Maybe he'll take $5 million a year or something along those lines. I'll pay Dalvin Cook.
Paying this guy $5 million a year, man.
For a rental, I'll pay $5 million
to do that. It's just not necessary.
This is the Super Bowl run, Ron. This is it. We're pushing it to the limit here.
This year and the next year. I'd rather spend that money. But we have position. Well, then if we're talking about the Super Bowl run, we have bigger positions of need.
Okay, but
those $5 million could go a lot further than getting a fourth running back.
Okay, I know what you're talking about, and I'm gonna pull it up here, the offensive line free agents that are still out there. But I'm just gonna go ahead and make this final point. Once again, Dalvin Cook wants to be in Miami. I think he has a certain bit of reputation that other teams have to respect. They have to, because they know what he's done. They've done it all about the future. They've done it all in the past. They've done it all this time. They have to. And Dalvin Cook being back there is way more dangerous, at least in the minds of defensive coordinators, than Devon Achane, who is complete unknown factor.
I feel like you're falling in love with a name here.
But you know what?
And I feel like you think defensive coordinators are going to fear that guy as much as you're
absolutely
in love with him.
They do. Are you kidding me?
Yeah,
he's run for 1,000+ yards every single year since 2019. They have to respect him. They don't have a choice. Because they know
I'd rather surprise the Chargers. That's my opinion. I'd rather them use the hell out of Achane and the Chargers wonder what the hell just hit them. I thought they were going to throw the ball to Hill the whole time. That's what I'd rather do.
But you know what? Again,
that's just me. That's two different philosophies and strategies, right? How to beat the pants off the freaking Chargers and Justin Shitbert.
I sense the disdain there.
Yeah, I can't stand that guy. I can't stand. I don't have anything against him. I just most overhyped quarterback in the NFL. It's not even close.
All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and pull up now. Since we're talking about this, we've already talked about Dalvin Cook. I want everybody to sound off in the comments below or right here in the chat if you guys agree with either me or Ron and why. In the meantime, I'm gonna go ahead and bring this up here. So I'm going to pull up this list, and these are all the offensive linemen that are still currently available to be signed.
This leads to the more running game talk, obviously. I mean, it's the whole offense. But.
To some extent, it does. But again, the question, we're going to be getting $13 million in cap space thanks to one Byron Jones.
Yeah, because we used up almost what we had left with the win. And what's the other guy's name? Ogboy. Well, I don't.
Cedric Ogbuehi. That's how I'm going to say it. I mean, I think Alf tried to correct me on the previous show, but I'm just going to be like, I'm just going to go with what Wikipedia told me. I listened to the audio clip. Cedric Ogbuehi. I'm like, okay, I'll just roll with it.
But so that pretty much took us down to zero, just about.
Yeah, pretty much. So, by the way, anybody who is looking for Cameron Fleming, forget it. Signed a 1-year deal, $4 million deal with the Denver Broncos.
Which tells me right away, in my opinion, that he was a free agent. So it wasn't like we had to wait. We had to wait to sign him, but it doesn't sound like if we were even in talks with him, we were offering him much. Because $4 million. Like I feel like the Dolphins should have paid $4 million. They couldn't yet, so maybe they were offering $3 million. They were offering $4 million, but wait till June 1st, and then you never know what might happen. Maybe there was just no guarantees. Maybe there was no conversation at all. Disappointing. I feel like that would have been a piece to make me feel a bit better about the line. I feel like Isaiah Wynn's not the starting right tackle. I think he's the backup to Ron Armstead. I feel like we still have Austin Jackson at that right tackle spot. Because even if Isaiah Wynn did win out and win that right tackle spot, as soon as Teron Armstead misses games, they're going to slide Wynn over to the left side, which now you have Austin Jackson again at the right. So we still need a right tackle, in my opinion. I don't think Jackson's the guy.
Well, apparently Austin Jackson is hungry and angry to prove everybody wrong. So,
yeah, he's been hungry and angry every year. Good for him. He's also been not very good. It's just simple as that. I don't know that that's even a good thing. I mean, has his issue been athleticism? Not really. Has his issue been he looks completely lost half the time, like he doesn't know who he's supposed to be blocking or what he's supposed to be doing? His technique is terrible. None of that has anything to do with him losing weight. I don't think any of his problems are solved by him losing weight. I don't even know that it doesn't make it worse. You know what I mean? So, yeah, I'm not I've got nothing there. I just think we've seen what we've seen from Austin Jackson. Now, can Butch Berry, that's his name, right?
Yes, that's his name, Butch Berry.
Can Butch Berry really get more out of him than what has got, what the O linemen have gotten out of him or O line coaches gotten out of him so far? I suppose that's possible, but
that's what we're basically hanging our hat on. We're basically like,
I guess since we really haven't done anything else.
We did. We signed Isaiah Wynn and Cedric Ogbuehi.
Yeah.
So now we have 3 first round.
We signed Brandon Shell and Kendall Lamb. That's what we did. You know what I mean? Like that's pretty much what we did. I mean, it's just we didn't sign like a real starting caliber for the right tackle spot, in my opinion.
This show not brought to you by Sonny's Barbecue.
Oh, yeah. I had to hit up.
Give us a call.
I had to hit up the smoked turkey combo. The big deal.
All right,
we're doing the show tonight, so I didn't have time to cook because I got home late.
All right, so let's go into the offensive line free agents. So
yes.
it's a lengthy list here of guys who are still available. So obviously the big name on here, Taylor Lewan, but I think that Taylor Lewan himself said that the Dolphins talked to him, but I don't know how true that is or if anything. But I think
that's interesting.
But I don't think Taylor Lewan is going to be available to play anyway, because if I'm not mistaken, I did remember seeing a story that Taylor Lewan was suing Dr. James Andrews for messing up his knee. Yeah, so like, so you're suing the NFL's most renowned knee doctor for ruining your knee, which tells me, are you healthy to play? I don't think you are. So I'm not holding my breath on that one.
George Fant's still out there, huh?
George Fant is still out there, but it's not like he was great. I mean, ironically enough,
no one on this list is great, or they wouldn't be on this list right now.
No, yeah, like George Fant. Apparently, his best position was left tackle,
But this is what they call, as many have said before, the dented cans. These are the dented cans for one reason or another. However, if these are dented cans, Austin Jackson is the car that just got out of the compactor. Okay, so I'll take a dented can over what we have now. I would say that most of these guys would probably be an improvement over Austin Jackson.
But the problem is that
Eric Fisher Hey, Jesse Davis is available.
You want to go get Jesse Davis back? Let's break to his ribs a second time.
This list is a who's who of previous Dolphins linemen that didn't work out.
Yeah, speaking of which, Juwan James.
Yeah, look at that. Eric Fisher, Jesse Davis, Juwan James. I bet you there's more.
You know what? Honest to God, Ron.
We're just pitiful at
honest. Full disclosure, okay? When he was a Dolphin, Juwan James wasn't bad. He was just hurt a lot.
Oh, yeah. No, I like Juwan James, actually. I didn't even realize he was still available. He must be injured right now.
Yeah, I think he is. Let me just look him up here real quick. What's he been up to as of late?
I think he's injured. I think that's the problem.
Denver Broncos. This is back in 2022. Denver Broncos settled Juwan James grievance lawsuit. Oh boy. All right, so I don't know. I don't think I want to do that. Juwan James tears his Achilles for a second straight season. This was back in September. So yeah, he's definitely not available to do anything right now.
That's a rough injury, no matter what. No matter what position you play. That's a rough injury. So probably he's out.
Yeah.
Mason Peters is an interesting one, but will he play right tackle?
Yeah, probably. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't mind.
Could he play right tackle? Would he mind?
I'll take it. Over? Yeah, he still plays well. Like 41. I have never been in the mindset of, you're this age, you suck, time for you to retire. I hate that. I hate that with a burning passion. Frank Gore played until he was 38, and he was still good at what he did.
Yeah, that's so rare for a running back too.
But he did it.
Yeah.
So it just goes to show you.
Jason Peters could probably still play. I wouldn't mind that. I mean, let's see. I'm more convinced that they'll go and still try and sign a lineman, or maybe even a two, than I am convinced that they're going to spend $5-6 million on Dalvin Cook. That's me.
Well,
I just think that our running back stable is good to go, and that if they're focused, they know that they could probably use more at the line. Honestly, I saw an article recently, and I don't remember who. Somebody guessed the starting lineup, defense and offense for all 32 teams. Now, I always find it interesting when a national media figure does that. I don't remember who it was. I always find that interesting because it's hard to really know inside and out an entire team, like 32 teams. Generally, you just have some basic knowledge. You don't have intimate knowledge of any team. He actually did really good. I was impressed with his picks for like that, his knowledge of the picks and what he talked about. I wish I remember who this was, but he had Isaiah Wynn as the starting right tackle. Found that interesting. I don't know that that'll happen. But one thing I'll say for this right now, when we were at this time last year, OTAs had really just started, and we saw and heard, as we heard the coaches speak, and we saw what they were doing with what we could see with the positions of players in which positions. We had it pretty firm that it was going to be Armstead left tackle, Eichenberg left guard, Connor Williams center, Robert Hunt right guard, and Austin Jackson right tackle. And I don't know that they really were ever even truly open to any other lineup. I don't think they ever really, and I could be wrong. I'm sure if a guy came out of nowhere and just looked superior, he'd have gotten a shot. But I don't know that anybody that got a real shot at anything in regards to, like, say, the right tackle or even the left guard spot over Ike. And I mean, the other three, we knew they were solid. But I don't think that's the case this year. If you hear the coaches talk, if you hear what Mike McDaniel said even recently, he's not calling it a competition, but he's definitely stating, or we're just going to watch all these guys and make decisions. And that wasn't the talk last year. So right away, it sounds to me like they're open to having real competition at the left guard and right tackle spot, which probably also means, number one, then they know those guys probably aren't the guys or aren't great. Number two, that probably means they've got their eyes open for after January 1st, after June 1st too. Well, so I think it's a lot better chance of us doing something like this or even I don't think we'll make any trade. It sounds like Chris Greer is determined to hang on to the picks he has for next year.
I think he wants to finally give Mike McDaniel the opportunity to get a first-round draft pick.
Plus I don't know that it would even be necessary. I don't think he wants to trade any picks unless they're like 5 or lower. That's just the truth. I don't think he wants to trade any picks because I think he knows when you're trying to keep a team together to do this to yourself 3 years in a row and have almost no picks is bad for the future of the team. Definitely mortgaging the future for the present when you do that, which we've done some already. I just don't think he wants to do it anymore. Plus, we lost 2 picks to punishment, so which also sucks. And 2 very valuable picks, a first and a third. I really think that I could see Miami making some sort of move, because I don't think it'd be trade unless it's just almost a nothing pick or pick and player, something to that effect. Obviously, Cedric Wilson comes to mind. I don't think they're going to trade Ogba. I think he's staying. I think it just makes sense to keep him along for Vic Fangio's defense.
Well, we'll see what happens there, because if it's true that the Dolphins are trying to get some other players to become more versatile, and we have a lot of promising young undrafted free agent defensive linemen that Vic Fangio can now mold like clay, I think that if they can get something out of Emmanuel Ogba, they can get like a 3rd-round pick for him. I think they jump on that in a heartbeat. I really do. Because
I don't think so. I don't think they will. I think he's more valuable to them in their minds than you realize. I think people just think this is what they think about Ogba. We signed him for what was a fairly decent amount of money, but at the time we did it, it really wasn't, because he was a hot commodity. He'd had a really good season. But then he came in and he wasn't great the next year. And then he got hurt fast and he was gone. So it's an out of sight, out of mind with Ogba. And I think people forget how good he is and how valuable he can be. And I think people don't realize how necessary he'll be for this defense. So I think Ogba's here to stay. I don't think they'll trade him. Don't know that they're allowed to restructure him since he just re-signed that deal.
Yeah,
But
they
I
can
don't even know if
restructure whenever
need to.
they can do whatever they want, man. Like it's
Can
their
they?
contract.
I thought
Remember
that
Xavier
contract
Howard? Do you remember
kept them
Xavier
from doing
Howard?
that.
Do you remember Xavier Howard? 1 year after he
Yeah,
signed
but that
his
was to
fresh
give
deal.
him more money.
Okay,
This
yeah.
is different. So I don't know. We'll see. I don't know that they even need to. I think if they don't sign any linemen, they're gonna maybe consider restructure. They're gonna extend Wilkins anyway, which could save them money. Or if they do it right, they could maybe eat some more this year to save some for the next coming years because they have other deals they're gonna have to. Other people they're gonna have to start re-signing in the next 2-3 years. And I know Chris Greer is thinking multiple moves ahead. He's always thinking multiple moves ahead, which is, again, even more reason why it just doesn't make any sense to sign Dalvin Cook. You know, when you're trying to not just think about 23, but think about the coming years too. Yeah, signing Dalvin Cook makes zero sense. In that you sat there and you spent all this money on certain players. You know you have to extend Wilkins, to say the least. You know a Tua extension is going to be coming up the next year. We don't know what that'll look like. Yeah, I think a lot of it depends on how he plays this year. You know all that, and you're trying to be so careful, but then you're going to go blow $6 million on a running back. A fourth running back, really, not fourth string, but a fourth running back. Yeah, I don't know, man. That's a little hard for me to see. That's a lot of resources. So you spent a third round pick, which you didn't even have a first, so second, third. So you spent your second pick of the draft, and then you're going to go spend all that money, and you re-signed Mostert and Wilson, but you're going to leave Austin Jackson at right tackle. I don't know. I don't think it's going to happen, man. I don't think it's going to happen, buddy.
Mike McDaniel's priorities are elsewhere. By the way, for
Mike McDaniels was about to punch Chris Greer in the face for not drafting Achane in the second round. Mike McDaniel has influence, but let's be honest on who's going to be on this team and who's not. Mike McDaniel has heavy influence. Yes, it's a bit of a group think with them, but Chris Greer is going to make that ultimate call of whether he feels that's necessary or not. And Chris Greer is not a guy who is only going to think about 2023. That is not the way he does things. That's not how he's managed this team's roster so far. It's not how he's managed their assets. Not even close. So we'll see, though. We'll see. I know that Nick from Perform. I don't know Nick's last name.
Nick Hicks.
Nick Hicks. Yeah, I know that Nick. He's hot on it, man. He's hot on Cook being here, but I mean, what does he really know? I mean, Cook probably
knows how badly Dalvin Cook wants to be a Dolphin.
That doesn't mean anything. Poyer wanted to be here too. That doesn't mean shit, man.
Okay, but here's the thing: Jordan Poyer wanted a certain pay grade. He wanted to be paid a certain amount of money. But Jordan Poyer is a safety. Okay.
Yeah, they wanted to give Poyer probably like a 1-year deal, pretty much.
So just to go use your point here, Jordan Poyer was a safety. Safeties can still have a big impact even at their later years. So Jordan Poyer going back to Buffalo, where he's made a name for himself, makes sense. Because if he wasn't going to get the money he wanted from Miami, he'll get it from the team that wanted him in the first place. Okay, fine. To your point, Dalvin Cook is a soon-to-be 28-year-old running back.
Yeah.
He's a running back, which means that, yes, there is this ticking time clock stigma on him. So I sincerely doubt that there's any team out there that's going to look at Dalvin Cook and say, you're worth the same amount of money that you're getting with Minnesota. That's probably why nobody traded for him in the first place.
That's why nobody traded for him, because they don't want to then have to pay him 10, 11 million, whatever it is.
So here's the deal. What's the max you think that Dalvin Cook can get on the open market?
That's interesting. That's a fun question. So you got to find a team that they feel like Dalvin Cook makes a difference for them and they have the money. I don't know who has money and who doesn't, so I'm not going to worry about that right now. I'm not going to worry about that money. I could see New England signing him because Bill Belichick's just desperate to have a playmaker on his team. I could see him spending money on him because he just needs playmakers.
Here, if you want to, let me give you the numbers here, okay? So as of right now, the teams that have money as of this moment, anyway, the Chicago Bears, Carolina Panthers, Detroit Lions, Indianapolis Colts. You know they're not interested. Jonathan
Lions
Taylor
would
being
be an
there.
interesting one. He stays in division. He's familiar to the people on that team, to the
They just
coaches
went
on
and
that team.
grabbed Jameer Gibbs. They do not care
That's
about
true.
Dalvin
That's
Cooks.
true. Bro, we drafted Achane. We re-signed Moser, re-signed Wilson. You're talking about signing Dalvin Cook. You're going to tell me that
Cook
Gibbs is
wants
going
to
to keep
come to
Detroit from
Miami.
doing it?
He wants to be here.
And when Miami doesn't sign him, now we're talking about teams that will. That's what we're talking about.
Okay, but no. Hold on. But you see, this is the problem here, though. So we have all these teams. Bears. Maybe the Bears. Who's the Bears running back? Let me just look that up real quick.
Don't even remember. Sorry.
Bears running backs. Okay. Deonta Foreman. Let me hang on. No. I'm not gonna guess. Hold on. Who's on this roster here? Treston Ebner, Deonta Foreman, Khalil Herbert, Travis Homer, Roshan Johnson. So the Bears could maybe say that they're going to give him some money, but with that,
and also again stays in the division. Yeah. Well, think about it too. If Dalvin Cook's 28 and he's a running back, and this could be his last decent payday, I mean, he may want to take the highest bidder.
He may want to take the highest bidder, but again, that's depending on what team is willing to give him high money.
Why does Dalvin Cook want to come here? So I always ask that question. And I had the same thing about Watson. Why was it that Deshaun Watson so badly wanted to come to freaking Miami? I always wonder about that.
But him, I can give you the answer. The same reason Jalen Ramsey wanted to come to Miami. He wants to come home. He's an FSU alum. He's from Miami. He lives in Miami. He wants to be home.
Okay, I guess.
Jalen Ramsey the same way. He went to FSU. Dalvin Cook was his teammate at FSU. You don't think he's chomping at the bit to be like, hey, bro, let's run it back?
Run it back. FSU sucks. Okay. Talk about run it back. I don't want him to run that crap back.
Listen, run.
Sorry.
Never mind the results.
Sorry to anybody there that insulted or made mad.
They're old college buddies.
Oh, look, the number just went down. We lost the FSU fan.
Yeah.
Just kidding.
So listen, I bet you anything that one day it already happened once, because I was saying that Odell Beckham Jr. and Jarvis Landry wanted to play together. They finally did get to do it in Cleveland, but I digress.
Whoopity-doo.
But they had fun. That was the whole point. They wanted to reunite. Same thing here, possibly. Dalvin Cook may decide that, you know what, I want to go back with my boy Jalen, and I want to play football with the Dolphins, my home team.
All right. We'll see.
So again,
let's see how cheap he'll go.
Let's see. Yeah, okay,
He's gonna have to go cheap, in my opinion. He's gonna have to take less money to go to the team he wants to go to than probably what some other teams will offer him.
Okay, fine. So here, let's just play this game real quick. So, for the record, and I don't know, this is what it's becoming now. We all know about how Miami has no income tax, right?
Yeah, I get it. And that saves them anywhere from, I don't know, 5 to 11 or 12%, depending on which team you're talking about.
So Chicago, the one with the most money. Chicago with the most money to pay Dalvin Cook right now.
Yeah.
They have a 4.95% income tax.
That's the highest. That's for the rich people.
Is that no, that's a flat rate. That's a flat individual income tax rate.
Oh, do they have it? Okay. All right. Well, yeah.
Yeah, it's Illinois' flat income tax rate. Every resident, regardless of income, pays the same 4.95%.
Oh, okay. So 5%. All right. That's a good chunk of change, right? That's okay. If you paid them $5 million, that's $250,000. If I'm doing that math correct. Well, that's a lot of $250,000 is a lot of money. I think maybe it's not to Dalvin Cook. It would be to me.
So if let's say the Bears offer him $6 million a year, and Miami offers him $4 million,
he still makes more money.
He still makes more money. He still makes more money with Chicago.
Yeah,
but again, he wants to come here.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's true. Do you think $4 million's too much? Do you think that's okay?
I told you on Fins Nation I would have given him the 6. You're the one who
definitely needs to be under 5 for me. That's me though. It needs to be under 5, and I think Greer would want to pay him under 5. Like I think Greer's thinking about a lot of things besides let's add a 4th running back. Especially when he begs.
You're not adding a 4th running back. You're adding a star running back who's going to be your starter.
4th running back.
You are adding a star running back to your already loaded offensive roster, and if something happens to Dalvin Cook, then you fall back on Raheem Mostert. And if something happens to Mostert, you can fall back on Jeff Wilson. And God forbid something happens to him too, then you still have Devon Achane.
Achane should not be the last name on that, by the way.
Okay, fine, whatever.
If you don't sign Cook, Achane's going to be the starting running back by like week 2 or 3 if you don't sign Cook. Okay. You do sign Cook, yeah, that's going to take longer. That's going to take much longer.
Fine,
obviously, because they're going to roll with Dalvin Cook to begin.
Rearrange the names if you want, man, but I'm trying to avoid Savon Ahmed and Myles Gaskin hitting the field again. I don't want to see that.
Yeah, but okay, so what are you avoiding when Austin Jackson gets hurt? And
it's the same.
Armstead.
Armstead, yes, but
yeah, let's focus on that. I'm not worried about running back number 4. I'm worried about right tackle number 1.
Well, we're literally looking at this list, by the way, for Jacoby Griggs, who's talking about the guard from the Broncos. He's on that list there. It's Dalton Risner. I just went ahead and I looked up for the sake of argument. I went ahead and I looked him up on PFF. He has a good grade in pass blocking. His run blocking is mediocre. So, and besides, again, he may be one of those anti-Butch Berry guys, so he may not even want to come to Miami. And that still doesn't fix the problem, right? Because all you do by putting him at guard, because Dalton Risner is a guard, he's not a tackle. So you upend Liam Eichenberg, which does not fix the Austin Jackson or the injured Teron Armstead problem. I think their answer to the Teron Armstead problem, straight up, would probably be Isaiah Wynn. Because, I mean...
That's why I think Isaiah Wynn's just more there to be the backup left tackle.
Okay.
I don't think he's the starting right tackle.
No, I don't think he is
right
either.
Now, unfortunately, by default, that still is AJ.
Yeah, so, again, I'm looking at it from the perspective of when you have the opportunity to add talent to your roster, you will go ahead and do it. None of these guys on this list, like I see Marcus Cannon, 35-year-old Marcus Cannon on here. We can bring back Matt Skura. You want to bring back Matt Skura? I don't. Brandon Shell's back on the street. Who else is on here? Oh, look, Jared Horst, who we just
Brandon
dumped.
Shell, aren't they?
They're
going to end up re-signing Brandon Shell and Eric Fisher.
I mean, Eric Fisher at least had a reputation before he got hurt. So maybe
you're big on those reputations.
I am big on reputation because if you did it once, you can probably do it again if you're healthy. That's my mentality of it. Jason Peters is 41 and he's still playing at a high level.
Yeah, I'm surprised he's actually not. I'm actually surprised he's not signed anywhere.
Because he's 41.
Yeah, but he's still, like you said, he's still playing well.
But he's 41.
I'm actually surprised.
The NFL is ageist. They are. The NFL.
Oh, yeah.
You
think? Yeah, definitely. I mean, how many?
Unless you're a quarterback.
The Patriots tried to get rid of Brady like 2 Super Bowls too early. Yeah, they are definitely ageist.
Yeah, I mean, listen, unless you're a quarterback, you're ageist. They're ageist unless it's a quarterback. Like Brady, the Brady thing is an anomaly. The Brady thing is an anomaly because
complete anomaly.
The Green Bay Packers.
Yes, Jets fans should remember that there's only one Brady. If you think you've got another Brady with Aaron Rodgers.
Aaron Rodgers tweaked his ankle running for a touchdown in 7-on-7. You have no business running for touchdowns on 7-on-7. Okay.
I don't know. Let him tweak all his ankles. I don't care. It's whatever. It's May. It doesn't matter that he tweaked his ankle. Right. Sure, he'll be fine by when do we play that guy? End of October or something?
Yeah, it was. I've already forgot the schedule. Last week was so chaotic that I don't even remember who plays when.
Yeah, nah. All I know is Chargers revenge game. That's all I know.
Yeah,
week 1. Could care less about anything else beyond that. I don't even remember who our second opponent is. I think it's the Patriots, but I'm not 100% sure on that.
So I want to bring this up here because we talked about Dalvin Cook this entire time. We've talked a little bit about offensive line. There's nobody there. Like Jawan James, if he was healthy, he's not. So that's out the door. Billy Turner got signed by the Jets, so that dream is gone.
Yeah, that's disappointing.
Cameron Fleming is back in Denver, so that's
the most disappointing. I really thought that we were going to sign Cameron Fleming.
No, I thought it was a done deal, but we also thought the same thing about Jordan Poyer.
I didn't think it was a done deal. I had said before, we need to stop with this inking guys in before they're with the team. Stop doing it. You guys are just
setting yourself
causing yourself disappointment. Yeah, you're just setting yourself up for disappointment. Stop with this. Oh, he wants to be here. He wants to be here.
He does, though.
That's what the Cleveland Brown quarterbacks coach said when they were talked into drafting Johnny Football. Oh, he wants to be here. Look at this text. Let's draft him. Yeah, it doesn't matter if they want to be here. It matters if it's what's best for the team.
I don't know why Johnny Manziel wants to be.
I want to be
what's
a Miami
in Cleveland
Dolphin
for
too.
Johnny Manziel? What was in Cleveland? There's nothing in Cleveland. LeBron was in Cleveland
because I think he felt like if the Browns didn't draft him, he was gonna fall. I think that he knew that. I think it's his agent probably knew that, so somehow they made Cleveland jump.
Yeah. Well.
Anyway, this ain't the Browns. This isn't the pulse of Browns
Nation. Yeah. So defensive tackle. So just going down the list going down the roster here, we actually don't have a whole lot of proven defensive tackles. If you think about it, we have Raekwon Davis, we have Zach Sealer, and
Sue. Let's re-sign Sue, bro. It'd be the perfect John Jenkins replacement.
Honestly, I was actually going to bring that up. I thought to myself, you know what? Ndamukong Suh, he may decide to do, but you know what? The only problem with that, and it's some kind of a disappointment for me, is that he may decide to wait out the regular season again, like he did for the Eagles, and then like real late down the tail end of the year, Ndamukong Suh will be like, "Hey, I'm still ready to play. So give me a quick cash grab, and I'll come play for you."
He could do that because he doesn't want to deal. These guys are older and they don't always want to deal with.
And Ndamukong Suh is 36 years old. When did that happen?
Yeah man.
We're getting old.
Yeah, they don't always want to deal with, training camp and things like that. But if he doesn't care about training camp or even likes training camp, which I don't think most players do.
No, he doesn't. He doesn't care.
Yeah, if he doesn't care about that and he's willing to do it, I think what he'd be waiting around for is a really good team to play on or a really good defense to play on. And I think he would probably see that with Miami and be, the Vic Fangio defense. And Miami, you got to really look at it. If you look at it top to bottom, that team, our offense is good, but our defense might be the deepest or one of the deepest. I don't want to say the deepest. Might be one of the deepest defenses in the league. I mean, they really are deep. It's pretty amazing what they've done with that defensive roster and the focus on it, and just kind of finished it off this offseason. I could see him wanting to be part of that. So I could definitely see it coming back to Miami. I'm sure he looks his time in Miami fondly, especially off the field and all that. So I mean, if I were him, I would consider.
I'm sure he still loves Steve Ross. I'm sure he still loves Steve Ross. Like Steve Ross taught him business. So
yeah, I could definitely see us. I know you brought this up, but obviously, so you think so as well. I could definitely see us signing another defensive tackle. I think that move makes sense for us.
Yeah, because right now the Dolphins, defensive tackle, they have Wilkins, Zach Sealer, and Raekwon Davis. Everybody else is just, I don't even know these guys' names. Emmanuel Ogbah's a defensive end. He doesn't count. Yeah, Randy Charlton, I know, look, that Randy Charlton apparently broke the sled in OTAs. So, yay. Very, very, very good first impression, I suppose. But aside from,
man, you know what? Can we get Jalen Phillips to play defensive tackle? You seen that picture of him today on Twitter? Yeah. Bring that picture up, man.
You really want to see it?
Bring that picture up, dude.
We're gonna give
that's ridiculous.
I guess the goal here is to get the pulse of Fins Nation racing right now.
We need to get the women's eyeballs on this show. Let's bring up that Jalen Phillips picture.
Oh my God! Well, there's also this AI generated Tua Tagovailoa picture that came up, which is
I don't want. I'm not interested in that.
Yeah, you're not interested in that one, huh? Well, too bad. No. I'm gonna put it up anyway.
Terrible.
AI
terrible.
Tua. My God!
Next, they're gonna be putting his face on that one picture we've seen for 20 years with the guy on the bed. I'm not gonna say anything else. Everybody knows what I'm talking about.
Okay, so.
All right, where's the Jalen Phillips picture, man?
Okay, it's going to take me some time, man.
This guy does not look like a defensive end. I have never seen a defensive end look this ripped in my life. That is crazy. Or an outside linebacker, really. He's not even a defensive end. He's an outside linebacker. Like, what outside linebacker is built that way? That's nuts. I mean, I know he's primarily a rushing an edge setter defense.
He's a pass rusher.
Outside linebacker, so I get it. But, dang, that's nuts. You're taking too long, Lewis. You had that 201 ready to go, though.
Because I end up messing up. I've got 400 tabs open, and it's hard for me to find everything.
Close some tabs, man.
I can't close tabs. So there you go, folks. Jalen Phillips.
Dude, that's
Woo-hoo.
craady. That does not look like an outside linebacker to me.
That
That's
looks like
nuts.
somebody who's ready to get 15 sacks this year.
That dude is ripped.
Do you remember
That's
Cameron
crazy.
Wake, man? They look on par.
Yeah, you're right. No doubt. Yeah, he's like ripped, like Cam Wake was real ripped. I didn't know, was Jason Taylor ripped like that? I don't think he was as bulky as Phillips and Wake were. He was a little slimmer.
Yeah, Jason Taylor got by on a lot of technique, not so much his raw athleticism.
Oh yeah, definitely. You say got by, like one of the greatest defensive ends in NFL history.
No, one of the best defensive ends in NFL history who did not have the greatest athletic profile. So yeah, he got by on technique and ability to get done in other ways. He didn't overwhelm his opponents.
He did more than got by. Didn't overwhelm his opponent. Man, all right.
He did not overwhelm. When I talk about overwhelming his opponents, I'm talking about I am bigger than you. I am stronger than you. I am faster than you. I'm going to destroy him.
You're supposed to believe this guy about Dalvin Cook when he says stuff like this about Jason Taylor. I don't.
You twist my words so much, man.
I do. That's what I do.
You love it. I hate when you do that.
It's the debate team years in high school, man.
You're twisting my words. I'm still in fact, I give Jason Taylor even more respect.
Being a dork in high school finally paid off. I've got Lewis all tongue-tied. Oh, God. All right, man. What are we thinking? Are we wrapping this up, or you got anything else to add?
No, we've got a little more. I want to talk about some of these other names here because.
All right, I guess.
We have to mention here. Maurice Hurst is actually not available because he actually ended up being signed by the Cleveland Browns for a 1-year deal. So this is a little bit outdated as of right now. You know what? Let me just switch it to just defensive line because I think there might be some players here. See, here we go. Akeem Hicks. So I'm pretty sure that honestly, it's listing him as a defensive end, but I think Akeem Hicks has spent most of his career as a defensive tackle. I'm not 100% sure on that, but he's a name that I know the 3 yards per carry crew have tossed around saying they would really like to be able to get their hands on this guy.
Yeah, I'd like to see us sign another defensive tackle. I think it makes sense for us. Don't want to spend a ton of money on it, but it makes sense.
Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and pull it up here just to see what the line. Okay, so no, he's been listed as a defensive end this whole time, but he did play. He was listed partly as a defensive tackle back with Chicago in 2020.
Well,
so
I think they're looking.
There is that.
I mean, would they be looking for a little bit more of a regular defensive tackle for this spot? You're talking about your fourth defensive tackle to replace John Jenkins. So,
well, I mean, if that's what you're doing,
I don't know if Hicks is the guy for that.
I mean, there's a lot of guys that you can look at. Shelby Harris.
That's definitely a guy right there. That to me that would make more sense.
But he knows Vic Fangio.
There you go.
He was during the Vic Fangio era, so there is that. The thing is that again, how much money you're willing to give. Like I don't think Ndamukong Suh can command that much cash anymore.
No, I don't. What did he play for Philly? I wonder.
Let me just pull that up real quick.
I'd love to see what he was. I mean, he came in halfway through the season when they realized.
No, not less than that, man. Less.
Yeah, than that. Yeah. They realized that they had injuries in the defensive tackle position, and they were getting run on in the middle a little bit.
His base salary was $750,000. He counted for $2 million against the cap.
Yeah, so there you go. So you can get Ndamukong Suh for no more than $2 million max. Hey, and then you calculate your little tax deal there. I don't know what the I assume that area, Pennsylvania, I'm going to assume they have a state income tax. I don't know for sure. But if they do, you calculate that in. Florida doesn't. Maybe we get them for like $1.8 million.
Honestly, I would the more I think about it, the more I really wish we could get an Ndamukong Suh reunion. I don't think it's going to happen at this point. I really don't.
I don't think it's out of the realm of possibility.
No, it's not out of the realm of possibility.
The money would make sense. He played here before. I'm sure he likes Florida, like I said. I'm sure he likes South Florida. So, again, I think Miami's a team where you're going to see guys like that want to come. Just like he wanted to come to Philly. Clearly, Philly was really good. What they were.
Well, Philly was going for the Super Bowl, so I think he wanted to.
Yeah, win. But at the time when he went there, we didn't know they were going to Super Bowl. We just knew they were really good. They'd lost one game or no games yet. I think they'd lost one by the time he came there. Maybe. So I could see a guy like that going to look at Miami and think, man, Miami could really, truly make a move. Like they could really do well. So
Ndamukong
I
Suh
could see
is
it.
not going to sign anywhere until training camp is over.
You think so? That's possible. I don't know.
I guarantee
don't know.
it. I guarantee
Yeah.
it. He does not want to be on anybody's team until training camp is over. He doesn't have
That
to
could
waste
very
his
well
time
be.
on those practice runs.
That could very well be, sir. I have no idea.
So aside
What are
from
any
that,
other positions besides defensive tackle, a backup defensive tackle, right tackle, obviously? What other positions do you think on this team could
we
use
can
some
sign
love?
Matt Ariza.
Yeah, but I mean, we just signed Bailey, right? And plus, we brought on
Matt
Turk.
Turk's nephew.
Yep. So I don't know. That doesn't make sense. I don't think that they would do that.
No, I don't. I mean, listen, there's something to be said about like for first and foremost, it's a tragedy what happened to him. He wasn't even there for what he was being accused of. So
yeah,
it's like that's disgusting, honestly. And apparently the Bills knew about it and they cut him anyway. So
yeah, they could have let that roll through, but it's a different time with stuff like that. So
yeah,
I get why the Bills did what they did, but it doesn't mean it was fair to him. Can we get this guy out of the division though? Come on, man. Like he was signed with the Buffalo Bills, and it's like, oh, now the Jets want him.
I mean, I don't really know what else you can really do at this point.
I don't know about you, but everything the Jets do just smells of desperation to me. Maybe it's just because I hate them so much.
I mean, they're all
everything they do just reeks of God. We're desperate to finally be relevant again.
Well, they are. They're all talking about how I literally watched. I was at the gym with my fiance just earlier this afternoon.
Planet Fitness, yeah, they got all the TVs. Right?
Yeah, they're Planet Fitness. They were all talking about how are the Jets in the elite Super Bowl like contenders for this year, and I'm like, oh my God, at one 40-something-year-old quarterback, and all of a sudden, boom, they're the best team in the NFL. Like,
I know. Well,
be kidding me.
It's northern media bias. It's fine. It's whatever. I don't care what they think. What they think has no bearing on what actually plays out. Obviously, they don't like the Dolphins. They don't like Miami. Look at the way they're talking crap about the Heat.
Oh, yeah, no.
They've got themselves convinced Boston's going to run the table.
They won one game. The Celtics won one game, and suddenly
now all of a sudden, the Heat are trash because they hate the Heat. They hate Miami. They hate all the Miami teams.
Miami makes them no money.
Yeah, no, Miami makes them no money. You're right. The northern teams do, but whatever. It is what it is. Yeah. So, I mean, maybe
I looked at safety. Safety.
Maybe but you need to.
McCourty's not available. He's going
to. You don't need depth at safety. You need.
No safeties. They've got they have.
Yeah, we've got safeties. We've definitely got cornerbacks.
We have safety: Deshaun Elliott, Javon Holland, Brandon Jones, Verone McKinley. He's good.
Trill Williams is probably going to play safety.
Trill Williams might play safety.
We're still hearing rumors that Ramsey might play some safety.
He probably will play some safety.
Yeah, so I think we're good there. We're good at cornerback. We got X. We got Ramsey. We got Kohu. We've got Cam Smith now. If Nick Needham can come back.
You want to bring back? We can sign Mercedes Lewis before the Jets do.
Tight end would be another position. You know what? I haven't been looking at the messages. See, all what now? Al posted pics in OnlyFans.
Yeah, the Jalen Phillips one.
Oh, gotcha.
But that's on his Instagram, so that's nothing private.
Yeah, no, gotcha. But tight end's another spot. I guess they want a blocking tight end. If you can't block,
Mercedes Lewis.
If you can't block, you need not apply.
Mercedes Lewis.
Yeah.
That's his whole game. Mercedes Lewis. He's 39 years old, and you can keep him away from Aaron Rodgers.
I'd be more interested in Cameron Brate based off what we already have at tight end. But I don't know. I mean, that's a possibility, I guess, tight end. I just don't think there's anything left that they're going to address. I don't. Besides offensive line, obviously. Maybe backup defensive tackle. Maybe tight end. I just don't know. I don't know that there's anything they need to address, which is really weird.
I mean, you can try to bring in some.
It is so weird to say that confidently and mean it and not be saying it out of wishful thinking, but just truth. You want to bring in
some. You want to bring in some competition for Jason
Kicker.
Sanders?
No doubt. I agree. Mason Crosby's available.
Let me double check on that because some of this is a little bit outdated. Let me just double check. Yep, he's a free agent.
Yeah, interesting. It's interesting. But
I saw the Jets were actually the ones working out Matt Ariza. Wouldn't it be an ironic and cruel twist of fate if the Jets signed Matt Ariza and Thomas Morstead, who ran away from Miami to go join the Jets, ends up getting cut because you can't compete with the punt god.
Yeah.
It's like Matt Araiza is still able to flip the field from end zone to end zone. Thomas Morstead can't do that. We love him, but he can't do that.
Almost nobody can the way Araiza can. I mean, we only really got to see him get a hold of one punt in the preseason before he was cut. But holy crap. I think he kicked that thing like 78 yards, dude. That's nuts. The punt god.
We all wanted him. Everybody wanted him. Kai Chen Chisholm, who's going to be doing 3 yards per carry as in the absence of Alf and the crew. He was all over that guy. Remember how much he wanted him so badly in Miami?
Yeah,
we all did. I think we all did.
Yeah, everybody wanted him, but he's a punter. I didn't cry that we didn't draft him. All right, man. Anything else, or
no? I think we're good.
It's an hour. I think we have blabbered enough.
Yeah, we've covered pretty much everything. Really, it's just offensive lineman and a luxury running back as we push for the Super Bowl. That's about it. Oh, a defensive tackle, because we still need to keep the rotation fresh.
Yeah.
But we'll see what happens. Miami's going to be getting some money soon. In about a week, we'll be able to get some cash in, and I'll be turning 30 shortly.
There you go. There you go.
Yay, right? Yeah. All right. All downhill from here, right?
Yes. Sorry, I don't want to lie to you, but yes. Now, actually, my 30s are good. My 40s have been pretty good for the most part, too. Health-wise, not always, but, you get older. Stuff starts to hurt. You get injured more. That's the thing. When you start getting older, you can't do all the things you used to do because you do get injured more. That's why
you can't run and jump around like a crazy person
anymore. I've torn my knee. I've torn bicep tendon. I've torn my calf muscle. Like, I've had injuries trying to do what I used to always do.
You're making a case for why the NFL should be ageist.
Yeah, exactly. There's a reason why they're ageist, because you're more prone to injury. You're not as fast as the young guys. You don't recover as quickly. Yeah, just honest. That's just the truth. You're in the training room more. It's just the way it is.
All right. Well, that's going to be it for this show. Thank you all so much for joining us and listening in as Ron and I go at it with all these different players the Dolphins could potentially sign. I'm like, my wish list at this point, my honest to God wish list.
Dalvin
Cook, Jason Peters, and Ndamukong Suh.
Names. You are a names guy. You're the guy that every time a team cuts any player you ever heard of, you're on Twitter saying, we should sign that guy. Take a look at him.
Not everybody. I'm not looking to go. I'm not dragging Dalton Risner coming, kicking and screaming. I know who he is.
Yeah. We'll see. I don't think they're going to sign Dalvin Cook. That's my final word on that.
Well, we'll see.
And I really don't think they need to. Even more, I don't think they need to.
Do they need to, Ron? No, I'll give you that. But I think that Dalvin Cook wants to be here, and I think he would bring something to the table.
All right, we'll see.
All right. So for anybody who hasn't already made sure to do so, go ahead and go to You Break Wheel Fix. They'll be able to help you out with all of your wheel needs. They can repair them. They can make them look better. They can give your car some upgrades like suspension modifications. Reach out to Mark and his staff at 305-748-0112 or online at youbreakwheelfix.com to get an estimate in just minutes. And of course, if you haven't already done so, make sure you're going over to prizepicks.com. Use the promo code 5, that's FIVE, and they will match up to $100 on your deposit when you sign up. So basically, sign up using our code. They give you $100 when you deposit $100. You don't even have to touch your deposit until you've bet through that money. So go ahead and head on over there right now. Ron, thank you for joining me. I appreciate it as always. We'll see you next week for more Pulse of Fins Nation.
See you, everybody.